There's a sweet illusion silently destroying the weak. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It tells you that as long as you're kind enough, tolerant enough, gentle enough, the world will reward you with love, respect, and peace. You believe that if you're always patient, always giving in, always smiling and forgiving, people will cherish you. Your life will be peaceful. You'll be the good person. But Machiavelli has a cold truth for you, one no one wants to hear, yet everyone needs to face. Unconditional kindness is the shortest path to collapse. The more blindly kind you are, the more predictable you become. The more you give without calculation, the more you lose your power. The more you crave to be loved by everyone, the easier you are to manipulate by the very people you're trying to please. Kindness is not a virtue, it is a blade. And only those who understand human nature know how to sharpen it and use it at the right time. The trap of obligation, when kindness becomes weakness. People say kindness is good, but Machiavelli said, kindness without calculation is stupidity. There's a rule most kind people never realize. When you give too easily, people don't thank you. They begin to treat it as your obligation. You offer your kindness unconditionally. They don't ask why, they just ask, what else do I get next? What was once a gift now becomes an expectation. And if you stop meeting that expectation, you're not met with understanding. You're met with judgment. That co-worker you went out of your way to help. But when you refuse to work late just once, they gave you side eyes. The lover you supported when they had nothing. But the moment you stopped paying, they said, you've changed. The cost of careless kindness is not gratitude. It's endless entitlement. Those who are unconsciously kind think they're planting seeds of goodness. But what they're really growing is a mindset that treats another person's sacrifice as something they deserve. They believe that softness brings peace. But in truth, they're sowing the seeds of resentment. Because when people get used to being indulged, you're no longer seen as kind. You're seen as the one who owes them comfort. And when you stop providing it, you don't get compassion, you get attacked. The fall of the people pleaser. Those who rule by emotion, by the desire to be loved, will eventually fall into this trap. They forgive too quickly. They give too much. Gradually, they lose their own weight. At first, they are praised. Then they are expected. And when they can no longer give, they are no longer loved. They are resented because their kindness has become an obligation. And an obligation unmet always breeds anger. Kindness as a weapon, the art of controlled generosity. On the other hand, those who understand that kindness is a weapon don't use it to feel right. They use it to maintain control. They reward to create loyalty. They forgive to disarm enemies. They show humility to lower their opponent's guard. They give not because they're weak, but because they are setting a trap. That is the art of choosing, the art of strategy, the mindset of someone who knows. If kindness is something everyone receives, then it has no value left. When kindness becomes too cheap, it loses its weight, and the one giving it loses all power. You can be a good person, but if you have no standards, your own kindness will consume you. The power of selective kindness. Imagine you walk into a room. There are two men. One is always smiling, always kind, always patting you on the back. Two, the other is quiet, calm, with measured eyes and only speaks when needed. Who would you approach first? Most likely the first one. But who would you be more cautious around? Who makes you think before you speak? Who makes you adjust your tone even without a warning? It's the second one, and that is the power of strategic kindness. Those who understand this don't hand out kindness to everyone. They choose, they observe, and they know the simple truth. When you give too much, you dilute your own value. Just like money loses worth when it's printed too often, kindness loses weight when it's given without control. That's why those who receive rare rewards treasure them the most. Because it's not a gift. It's an earned prize after a challenge. A strong man never has to say he's kind. Others will feel it, precisely because not everyone gets to experience it. Kindness, when given selectively, becomes a silent power. It makes people strive, compete, and long for your recognition. Not because they want a reward, but because they want to prove they're worthy. And that's the key. You turn your presence into a standard. At work, a leader who knows when to show kindness builds a powerful team. In politics, a statesman who knows when to bend and when to stand firm stays in power through storms. In love, a partner who limits softness keeps attraction alive. It all follows the same rule. Never let kindness become your reflex. Let it be your strategy. And if you can do that, your kindness will no longer be something people expect. It will be something people respect. The ruthless truth about fairness. Imagine you are a king. Each day, you hand out favors to everyone. The loyal, the traitors, the hardworking, the lazy. You do this because you believe in absolute fairness. You want to be remembered as a kind, generous king who treats everyone equally. But one day, the loyal guard who stood by your side for years begins to wonder, why should I stay loyal when a betrayer gets the same reward I do? And in the shadows, the traitor whispers, how easy. He's too weak to judge. I can keep playing both sides. In that moment, what you thought was fairness is actually an act that blurs the lines between loyalty and betrayal, between effort and laziness, between those who deserve and those who simply demand. That's exactly what Machiavelli warns us about. Indiscriminate kindness is poison disguised as an angel. It makes you believe you're being loved. But in reality, you are losing control. In any power system, whether it's a company, a government, or a family, the game must include both reward and consequence. There must be a clear hierarchy. If everyone receives the same reward, you are no longer leading. You are handing out charity. And what comes from charity is rarely appreciated. A wise person never pours kindness like a rainstorm over a barren field. They water only the trees that need to grow, because they understand this. When you are kind to everyone, you are hurting those who truly deserve it. You make them doubt. You make them lose faith. They begin to ask, does my effort still matter if the undeserving are treated just like me? And so, you lose the motivation of the strong. You fuel the laziness of the weak. You destroy the power ecosystem you worked so hard to build. Worse than that, the sly ones, the opportunists, will sense that you lack the backbone to enforce justice. And that's when they come close, not to be loyal, but to place a blade behind your back. The price of being too likable. There's a common mistake made by people who want to be liked. They believe that if they win others' hearts, they will earn loyalty. That if they make people admire them, those people will never turn their backs. That if they are loved, they'll walk side by side until the end. Machiavelli called it the illusion of the weak, because affection is the most fragile thing in the world. It sparkles, but it doesn't last. It's sweet, but easily swayed. Someone may love you today, but will they still love you when you say no? When you refuse to help? When you no longer make them feel comfortable? They don't love you, they love the feeling you give them. And the moment that feeling fades, their love vanishes like smoke. Here's the truth. The ones who are loved the most are not always respected, but the ones who are respected, they always make others keep a certain distance. That's what creates order. And if you want to earn that respect, you need boundaries. Boundaries draw the line between what's allowed and what's not. Giving because you want and giving because others expect it. People without boundaries live in a constant spiral of obligation, guilt, and endless sacrifice. But those with boundaries live in clarity. They carry weight, and they are respected. The final lesson: kindness must be sharpened like a blade. Machiavelli didn't oppose kindness. He didn't advise you to be cruel. What he said was far more precise. Kindness is not a character trait. It is a tool, and tools must be controlled. Smart people don't give because they feel guilty. They give because it benefits them. Don't forgive out of weakness. They forgive because that forgiveness creates a debt. Aren't kind to be labeled a good person. They are kind to establish their position. When they offer a reward, they are buying loyalty. When they stay silent about a mistake, they are planting unease. When they treat a former adversary with grace, they're not surrendering. They're widening the distance, so the enemy cannot predict what comes next. That's why real kindness is not softness. It's a calculated strike. A true leader doesn't need to be loved. They need to be calculated. And to make others calculate around you, you must be unpredictable. The choice you must make, if you've ever been taken advantage of because you were too kind, been betrayed by the very people you once gave your all to, sacrificed without being acknowledged, then it's time to reclaim your position. Because kindness, if left unchecked, turns you into prey. But kindness, when sharpened like a sword, turns you into someone who cannot be defeated. You don't need to stop being kind. You need to become selective. Let your kindness be a blade, sheathed in silence, only drawn when it truly matters. And when it appears, let everyone hold their breath, because they will know this is not weakness. This is power wearing the mask of kindness. If this message made you think, hit the like button and subscribe, because here, we don't tell stories to make you feel comfortable. We tell them to wake you up. The betrayal of blind kindness. Why the world punishes the gentle. There's a lie sold to the good-hearted, that if you are patient, if you endure, if you swallow your pride and always turn the other cheek, the universe will reward you. But the universe does not reward weakness. It rewards strategy. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. The man who makes kindness his only language will be outmaneuvered by those who speak the dialect of power. You think your kindness is a shield, but in truth, it is a target. The psychology of exploitation. Why people take advantage of the kind. Human nature is not evil, but it is opportunistic. When someone realizes you will always forgive, always accommodate, always yield, they do not admire you. They calculate. The co-worker who forgets to repay favors because you never demand them back. The friend who only calls when they need something because you never say no. The partner who pushes boundaries because they know you won't walk away. These are not accidents. They are tests. And every time you pass them, by staying silent, by tolerating, by giving in, you teach the world one brutal lesson. I can be taken for granted. The myth of the good person. Society praises a good person, the one who never argues, never imposes, never demands. But beneath that praise is a quiet contempt, because deep down, people do not respect those who cannot enforce their own worth. They may use them, they may praise them, but they will never fear losing them. And fear, whether we admit it or not, is the foundation of respect. The Machiavellian shift, from likable to respected. The moment you realize that kindness alone will not protect you, you face a choice. Continue being the person everyone likes but no one truly values. Or become the person who is selectively kind, and therefore irreplaceable. The difference is not cruelty, it is control. Instead of giving freely, you make people earn it. Instead of forgiving instantly, you let them feel the weight of their mistake. Instead of being endlessly available, you teach them your time has a price. This is not manipulation. It is self-preservation. The 3 laws of strategic kindness. 1. Kindness must be conditional. Oh, if it is given without reason, it becomes expected. Oh, if it must be earned, it becomes valuable. 2. Fear of loss, desire for reward. Oh, people change not when they want something, but when they fear losing it. Oh, let them know your kindness can be withdrawn. 3. Silence is stronger than anger. Oh, the sharpest punishment is not rage. It is indifference. Oh, when someone betrays you, do not scream. Simply remove your presence. The final awakening. You were not born to be a stepping stone. You were not born to be the one who gives endlessly while receiving scraps in return. Machiavelli did not teach cruelty. He taught clarity. And the clearest truth of all is this. The world does not love the kind. It rewards the strong. If you are tired of being overlooked, if you are done with being used, then it is time to wield kindness like a weapon, not wear like a weakness. Because the greatest power is not in being feared. It is in being respected enough that no one dares to disrespect you twice. If this truth resonates with you, act on it. The world adjusts itself for those who refuse to be small. Will you be one of them? Drop a like if this hit home. Subscribe if you're ready for more unfiltered truths. The weak hesitate, the decisive act. The unspoken war between kindness and power. There's a hidden battlefield where the kind-hearted are slaughtered daily, not by knives, but by exploitation. Not by enemies, but by those they trusted most. You were taught that virtue is its own reward. But Machiavelli whispers a forbidden truth. Virtue without power is martyrdom in slow motion. The delusion of the nice guy. Society tells men to be nice. Women are conditioned to be sweet. Employees are pressured to be team players. And what is the reward for this obedience? The nice guy finishes last. The sweet woman is walked over. The team player is passed over for promotions. This is not coincidence. It is design. The system does not reward goodness. It rewards value. And value is determined by one question. What happens if you disappear? If the answer is nothing changes, you have already lost. The two faces of human nature every person has. One, a public mask, the face they show to gain approval. Two, a private calculation, the cold assessment of who deserves their respect. You navigate life thinking others judge you by your mask. But in truth, they measure you by the fear of losing you. The boss doesn't promote the hardest worker. He promotes the one he cannot afford to lose. The lover doesn't cherish the most devoted. They cherish the one they fear walking away. Friends don't respect the most generous. They respect the one who makes them work for it. This is not cynicism. It is the game. And you were never taught the rules. The death of the innocent kind. There are 3 stages in life of an unconditionally kind person. 1, the saint phase, you give, help, forgive. People praise you. 2, the doormat phase, they expect it. Requests turn into demands. 3, the resentment phase, when you finally say enough. You're called selfish. This is why naive kindness always breeds hatred. Not because people are evil, but because you train them to see your generosity as their right. The rebirth of strategic power. The solution is not to become heartless. It is to become conscious. 1, replace automatic kindness with conscious choice. O before giving, ask, will this increase my value or decrease it? O help should be a privilege, not a reflex. 2, make them work for your goodwill. Oh, the favor you make someone beg for is remembered forever. Oh, the favor you give freely is forgotten by tomorrow. 3, master the art of the withdrawal. Oh, the moment someone takes you for granted. Pull back without explanation. Oh, let silence do the teaching. The iron paradox of respect. The more you need others to like you, the less they will. The more comfortable you are with their disapproval, the more they will seek your approval. This is the secret all powerful people understand. Respect is not given, it is taken. Not through force, but through unshakable self-worth. The final lesson. You were not put on this earth to be everyone's consolation prize. Machiavelli's true lesson was never about cruelty. It was about self-preservation in a world that feeds on the weak. The choice is yours. Continue being the person who is too good for this world and crushed by it, or become the person who decides where goodness flows and where it stops. If this truth resonates, act on it. The world belongs to those who refuse to beg for their own respect. Drop a like if you're ready to play the game and win. The ruthless anatomy of respect. Why kindness alone makes you invisible. There exists a brutal psychological law no one dares teach in schools. The more visible your kindness, the more invisible you become as a person. This is why the selfless mother becomes just mom, expected, reliable, forgotten. The loyal employee becomes part of the furniture, essential but unnoticed. The always available friend becomes a therapist, valued for utility, not humanity. Machiavelli understood this paradox 500 years ago. The prince must learn to be not good, not because evil triumphs, but because constant virtue becomes background noise in human psychology. The 3 betrayals of the perpetually kind. 1, the betrayal of memory. Oh, people forget your 100 yes, but remember your 1 no. Oh, your kindness becomes expected while your boundaries become offenses. 2, the betrayal of perception. Oh, gentle souls are presumed weak until proven dangerous. Oh, your patience is mistaken for passivity until you reveal teeth. 3, the betrayal of economics. Oh, in the marketplace of relationships, freely given goods lose value. Oh, what costs nothing is treasured accordingly. The strategic restructuring of your goodness. Phase 1, the withdrawal. Go silent where you were once generous. Let absence reveal your true worth. Phase 2, the repricing. Make favors require reciprocity. Transform kindness from welfare to currency. Phase 3, the controlled reveal. Show capacity for ruthlessness without employing it. Let them see the blade but feel only its absence. The counterintuitive mathematics of power. Conventional wisdom says, kindness plus consistency equals respect. The reality, kindness divided by availability, times capacity for harm equals respect. This is why doctors are respected more than nurses. Same field, different perceived power. Teachers struggle while professors command. Same knowledge, different authority structures. The parent who occasionally says no is feared more than the always yes parent. The final transformation. You must become like water in a desert, life-giving when chosen to flow, unapologetically absent when choosing to recede, remembered in both states. Not kind, not cruel, strategic, because in the end, the world doesn't need more good people. It needs more people who understand that goodness without power is poetry written in disappearing ink. This is the untaught curriculum of power. Master it or remain invisible. Like this if you're ready to be seen. Subscribe if you're ready to be feared.